Here we are at the Agua Dulce Parade of Tables, their 2019 holiday season get together, and the raffles every year are exceptional. This is the Acton Women's Club, and they have a little Christmas train going on. Yeah. And I'm the event chair of this year's Parade of Tables. I'd like you all to please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by the 4-H Coyotes. All right.
Gentlemen, please remove your hats. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Coyote. Now let us welcome Stephanie Piso. She will be giving today's invocation.
It's an honor for me to be here today to deliver the invocation. Let's pray.
Everyone, if you could have your attention.
Sorry, we're going to go ahead and pray now. Heavenly Father, we come before you today to give thanks for bringing us together to celebrate the Parade of Tables. We are grateful for this time of friendship and fellowship, as well as these magnificent tables that have been laid out before us, and all the imagination and hard work that went into them. Thank you also for the food that we will be enduring during this time. The theme of this year's event is Timeless Mission, opening our doors into the future. And we just pray that through this event, the Women's Club can continue this mission of serving and providing our community with support, especially in times of emergency and disaster. We ask for your many blessings for the Women's Club and its continued dedication and service to our community for many, many more years to come. We pray this in your precious name. Amen.
Thank you, Stephanie. We are so excited to have everyone here to attend the 26th Annual Parade of Tables. Don't you think all the tables just look absolutely gorgeous? We have a great program in store for you today, as well as some delicious food, which is catered by Christina Wagner with the assistance of her culinary students at Vasquez High. So please notice the envelopes on your table. These are the tips for the students, so please be generous. The culinary students also have their coffee bar set up back there, so please go check it out. They are also serving hot cocoa. There are great raffle baskets and silent auction items, so be sure to take a look. Also, don't forget to check out the emergency preparedness booth. We will give you more information about that later. And of course, I couldn't have pulled this exciting, beautiful event without the help of my hardworking, dedicated committee members. They have put a lot of time and energy into this to make it happen. Thank you, Mary Johnson, Karen Jewett, Pam Bear, Mary Norris, Miley Bear. Please give them a round of applause. Also want to thank Jeff Ruge for the sound system and Scott Gregory, who is here today. Thanks so much for donating your time to be our personal photographer. The music you have been enjoying today is The Herd from Vasquez High under the direction of Amy Cesari. So let's give them a hand. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our host and master of ceremonies for today's event. He is a longtime resident of Agua Dulce. He and his family moved here in 1973 when his father, Ray, purchased a business which we have all grown to love and appreciate, Boston Henry. He was 17 at the time. He and his two older brothers joined their father at the business. Soon after he married his wife, Lori, she gifted him with four children that have all grown up in our special town. They have all remained here locally to this day. They have also added 11 grandchildren to the family, which only adds to the Christmas season's excitement. He has served as a Lions Club president for 3 terms and has served on the town council for 10 years. Please join me in welcoming our host today, Dawn Henry.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Julie, for your kind words. You know, I love this community and all the people that have come together to support the good work of the Women's Club. The Agua Dulce Women's Club, as Julie said, we're going to have a wonderful, great time today. We also have a special guest. So before we get too far along, I would like to introduce a very special guest today. Supervisor Catherine Barger. Supervisor Barger proudly serves the residents of Los Angeles County 5th Supervisorial District, the county's largest, spanning 2,800 square miles, which includes 22 cities, 70 unincorporated communities in the San Gabriel, San Fernando, Crescenta, Santa Clarita, and Antelope Valleys. Early this month, she was passed the gavel as the chair of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors. Let's give her a warm Agua Dulce welcome.
He keeps a distance. I'm sick. So everyone, if I don't hug you like I normally do, don't take it personally. I don't want to get you sick. But first of all, I am so honored to be here with old friends and new friends. This is truly a sense of community. And when I look at these tables, will you all come and decorate my house for me? Because I haven't done anything. I want to thank Stephanie English, I don't know where you are, Stephanie, on my staff, who works with the community out here. I want to thank the town council, but I also want to thank the Women's Club for inviting me to participate today. A group of fourth graders from Agua Dulce reached out to my office to install additional safety measures on Agua Dulce Canyon Road in front of their school. I'm glad to say, and I just talked to some students who confirmed, that we completed a traffic study and decided to add optical speed bars to enhance safety on the road. And this is a great part of really the activism of this community. So as a result of that idea, we are going to be installing that. But more importantly, I'm going to make this really short so that I can let you all not have to listen to this voice. But I know that emergency is an important issue out here. And so it is my honor. I'm looking for Stephanie, and I want Mary to come up. Oh, it's right here. Mary, will you come up here? We are going to, the County of Los Angeles is going to donate $5,000 for Agua Dulce Women's Club purchase for emergency kits for the community. All right, that's for you all.
I just want to do a quick thank you to the supervisor because she has been front and center for our community since before she was elected. And her field officer, Stephanie English, if I make a phone call, Stephanie takes care of business. So we can't thank you enough for listening to our community, understanding that we're a little different than the metropolitan stuff. But different is good. So thank you for coming. We're honored to have you here today. And I know you're going to take off, but thank you so much for coming.
We're so honored to have her here today. She's feeling under the weather. She made the effort. Let's give her a big round of applause. You know, 2019 has been a very successful year for the Agua Dulce Women's Club. The board of directors and members would like to thank the community for the opportunity to serve them and for their support that they have received this year. With your help, the Women's Club has been able to provide a number of community services and financial contributions, a few of which are financial support was provided to the Canyon Coyotes. Can everybody hear me okay out there? Yeah. Canyon Coyotes, 4-H Club, the Agua Dulce Girl Scouts, Agua Dulce Royal Court, and Venture Group. College scholarships were given to Jenna Colo, who is attending UCLA, and Melina Mazan and Samantha Perez, who both are attending college in the Canyons. Both of our local elementary schools, Eileen Agua Dulce and Meadowlark Elementary, received financial awards. The Women's Club is a proud sponsor of the Agua Dulce Royal Court Community Queens Scholarship Pageant. The reigning queens are Miss Agua Dulce, Aubrey Grijalva. Do we have Aubrey here? Young Miss Elizabeth Grijalva, Little Miss Nicolette Letelier, Tiny Miss Hartley Bishop, and Tiny Miss Princess Charlotte Letelier. As a parent of a former Agua Dulce, Miss Agua Dulce, I understand the value and importance of this program. The Agua Dulce Women's Club hosted a number of community events, which were 2 Pacific Crest Trail hiker meet and greet luncheons, 2 fish fries, 2 kids movie and meal nights, a rummage sale, holiday gift bonanza. The clubhouse also served as a community collection point during the power outage and was able to host a chili dinner for 150 people during the power outage, courtesy of a generator provided by Southern California Edison and Supervisor Barker. We've hosted community emergency response team classes with 26 newly certified community volunteers. And just last week, Santa Claus came to the Agua Dulce Women's Club for photos with Santa, crafts and letters to Santa, and Christmas treats. So it seems fitting that we end the year with a big bang and make this 26th annual Parade of Tables event the best ever. How many of you have had a chance to check out the raffle tables and the silent auction? Don't those tables look amazing? Remember, there are still 9 more days until Christmas. If you win one of these beautiful baskets, you don't even have to gift wrap them. Baskets are going to be open until 1:10. The silent auction, quilt, and shopping spree raffles will end at 1:30. Make sure you take a couple laps around the tables. There is something for everyone. Also, don't forget to fill out your People's Choice ballot. You can turn them in to your hostess or drop them in the jar at the raffle sales area. Make sure you get those in by 1 o'clock if you will. And if you haven't yet, go over to the photo corner and with that great backdrop to snap a few pics for Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's great for individual and group shots. Well, I think lunch is ready. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this delicious lunch. Thank you for being here. We'd like to welcome one of our local residents, Karen Cayley. Karen's going to share a special, incredible story about a devastating loss she and her husband suffered and the remarkable way the community of Agua Dulce rallied to help her out. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Karen Cayley.
Hi, I'm Karen Cayley. I'm going to preface this with, the reason I'm talking is because our house, is that better? Speak right in. Is that too loud? No. Okay. I'm practically, no comment. Oh, geez.
There you go.
Throw this place away. Okay. Anyway, a lot of people here already know my story, but our house burned down in the buckwheat fire in 2007. We had lived here for 2 years, And the experience of having your house burned down and rebuilding and whatever happens, it totally changes your life. And it's not because it's so sad that you lost your pictures. It's because you're so disoriented. And if you don't have like some kind of solid thing, like a community to hold you up, I don't know how people do it. I mean, we had no friends here. We'd lived here for 2 years, and our kids are grown, so, well, they weren't really grown. They were 20, so they were gone.
They're not grown yet.
And because all of our friends were where we left them, so then the house burned down, and we're like, now what do we do? Well, the first thing I want to do is just open with this poem that I wrote, that just a couple days, or I don't know, weeks or something after the house burned down. And then I'll go back to my main topic. It comes in spurts, the sadness. First the dream about the books, my homemade quilts, then the photos, and the ghost of my father explaining what all of it meant to us. My lifetime of poetry was gone. Essays, term papers, research projects, gone. I cannot call myself a poet anymore. I have no poems. Nor in this state of shock do I have the sensitivity that gave birth to them. I am not a scholar. My books are lost. I have no record of old friends, lovers, my children as babies. Maybe our wedding never even happened. Who are we now? 4 people with no proof of a past. Adults without a single childhood. 4 generations we can name, but no heirlooms. It isn't easy living in the present, or even in the future. I miss the past, and when my memories fade, I'll have nothing to rekindle them. There is so much we lost in the fire, but this is what we gained. We stood like maybe 500 feet down the street from our house while the house burned out. And all the neighbors were in the street, and we were all just standing there going, who's gonna be next? And ours just absolutely exploded. It had bird nests in the clay tiles, and the flames went between the tiles and the ceiling, or whatever you call that. And it just took off. I mean, it exploded, literally. There were clay tiles flying in the sky. And I'm sitting there going, is this a movie? You just don't understand what is happening. And yet the neighbors around us, we barely knew, because we live in 10 acres parcels, sort of. We're all very separated. So, but this thing, all of a sudden we were family members. And I don't know exactly how to describe that feeling, but you get the point. It's kind of like watching, this can't be it can't be real. And, you know, before that, I was always thinking, yeah, there's always wildfires, it'll never happen to us. Don't ever assume it'll never happen to you. So, next thing that happened was we had to get out of there. And so we went to the airport where the fire department had set up their command center. And some nice neighbor, I don't remember who it was, brought over a big generator and turned on a TV so everybody that was affected could watch the news. And I had forgotten my cell phone when I ran out of the house. And the only thing I remembered was my dog and my purse. But my phone wasn't in my purse, so I couldn't even call anybody because I don't know anybody's phone number anymore because they're all on my phone. Anyway, we came to the airport and there were town council people there, firemen obviously, the police, everybody the media was all over the place. And they kept interviewing these people like us who were in shock. And then when you're in shock, you don't even know what comes out of your mouth. And then all of a sudden it's in the LA Times. Scary. Remember that if it ever happens. Don't talk to a reporter right away. It could be deadly. So anyway, while this whole thing was going on, Marilyn Garner, who I had met at a party, came up to me and said, "Do you have a place to spend the night?" I was like, "Oh, I guess I was assuming we'd stay in a motel or something." But I didn't want to go back to our old house, which we came from the Thousand Oaks area, and that's where all our friends were. And so we were gonna go there the next day, but we didn't want to leave during the night. We wanted to go back in the morning and make sure there wasn't anything left that we couldn't take before somebody stole it, which I don't know if that ever happens around here. I'm sure it must, but looters are not the biggest thing you usually worry about. But I just didn't want to leave because it was our home. So Marilyn asked me, and I said, I assume we're going to stay in a motel. It's not like we don't have credit cards still. And she said, well, Dave Aiello, who's a town council member, or maybe he was about to run for it or something, we didn't know him. He had called her and said, if there's anybody in the fire, affected by the fire that needs a place to stay, we have a house and we can take care of her. I don't know who this is. So I said, well, sure, it's great. It's right in town and we're fine. So she took us there in her car with my gigantic chocolate lab. And we got there and they had laid out this whole outdoor dinner party thing because there was no power. And so they had barbecued chicken and they made this incredible chicken Caesar salad, and I can't believe I even remember what the food was because I was a robot. Plus, everybody at the airport was feeding me margaritas. Because, oh, your house burned down? Here, have another. Hey, what house? But anyway, we went over there and they had this great dinner and we had a really good conversation with them because at that point I was in a safe place, and so my regular self came out in the shock department. Then we went to sleep. Oh, before they left, they decided they were just going to leave the house, and they gave us the keys. They left their dog there and asked us to take care of the dog, and they said, we'll just disappear for the night and you have a roof over your head. You never believe what that means to somebody who's just out like that. So that was my first experience with what this community is like. Blew me away. Let's see, I've rewritten this so many times, I don't even know where I am. But that's okay. Oh, so anyway, because of that experience, which I went on and on about, that I didn't plan to, the reason they asked me to talk today is because one of the big focuses of this luncheon is the emergency preparedness and the need for it. And if we had been more prepared, I had all the photos in a big Rubbermaid container sitting right by the front door, and I ran right past it on the way out. So you can take care of those kind of things, but the stuff you need to take care of way before there's even a threat of a wildfire is making sure that all of your important documents and pictures are on some electronic thing or in a safe deposit box or someplace outside of there, because you won't have time to grab anything. It's just that fast. So an emergency preparedness kit will tell you all that stuff, and I just think that really, I'm buying one. I think the odds are not too Granted, my house has been burned down twice, but you know, weirder things have happened. So another thing, everybody, I know there was a big thing with the Edison company and the power outages and all that. And then when you don't have power, when you have a well and you don't have water, and you can't fight a fire. Well, that's a valid excuse if your barbecue tips over. Because then you have a hose and you can put the fire out. But if a wildfire is coming at you, you might as well spit at it. You can't do anything with a hose. And so I still, you know, I'm totally against the power outages and all that, but they're not going to save, it's not going to save your house in a wildfire. That's only a wildfire. There's other fires too. So the first time we saw the flames, John smelled smoke. That's my husband. He goes out and he's like, I smell smoke. Walks outside. We had the house all closed up because it was hot. It was like 85 or 90 degrees and the winds were like 50 miles an hour. And so the house was all closed up and the air conditioning was on. So I don't know how he even smelled smoke, but he did. And he goes to the front door and he looks out the front door and he goes, we have got to get out of here. Because you could see this black cloud at the top of the driveway. And it was coming at us at 40 miles an hour. So, okay. I said, you take your car, drive up to the road, see what's happening, see where the fire department is. I didn't think this was going to affect me so much. So I was looking for the cats, and I couldn't find the cats, because I said I would follow him. He took his car, and I was going to follow him in my car, so at least we could get the cars out, and the dog. And so he went up there, and then a fireman was walking around. They had just arrived when flames were right at the house. And he said, is there anybody in that house down there? And my husband goes, yeah, my wife's down there. She's trying to find the cats. And he's like, she cannot be there. We have to get her out of there. And so my husband goes, okay, no problem. I'll drive down there and get her out. And the fireman goes, you are not going in there. I'll go in there. And so the next thing I know, there's somebody pounding at the door. And he just kicks the door open, opens it, and kicks it open and says, you have to get out of here. And I looked at him and this fireman was like 25 years old, and his face was white. And I'm like, geez, I guess he's serious. But so I said, okay, but with the cats, and he's like, forget about the cats, just go. So I grabbed the dog's leash and my purse, and zoom. Let's see. Okay, I already said it. I'm going to skip over the rest of the emergency preparedness stuff because I think you can learn it all on your own and you'll know. Because I only learned it because it happened to me. I hope you learn it before it happens, if it does, and I hope it never happens. But however, if it does happen, I really hope that the results I had are the same kind that you'll get. Because all of a sudden, the whole world changed. People came out of the woodwork and just calling out, do you need anything, blah, 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 blah. The women's club called me. I asked them for recipes. Because those are the kind of things you can't replace. So I said, I want family favorites, that's it, So I got, 3 days later, there was a whole bunch of cookbooks and home, everything in the mail. And I thought, these people don't even know me. This is so crazy. This town is really amazing. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Karen, for sharing that story. It's so inspiring to see someone who's been through a tragedy like that and can talk about it and actually carry a smile. So we appreciate it.
Okay. Karen, how did you do it? Truly, how did you do it? I think it's only through the grace of finding those Agua Dulce angels that you were able to pull it off. So, thank you for sharing your story. Okay, I've had a couple glasses of wine. I've been a little stressed throughout the day. I'm kind of glad we're at this point, but because of that, I'm kind of going to keep to my script, I think. That way, then I'm not going to forget anything.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine, overnight, your life is completely changed. You start thinking minute by minute, not even day by day. You can't imagine your future. There's something about waking up to a pile of ashes the house is reduced to and understanding the finality of that. Through the grace of God, Karen and her husband found Dave and Yolanda Aiello, their Agua Dulce angels, to take the first step in finding a place to live. I know most of you, if not all of you, are pretty prepared for a 3-day power outage. I hope you were all able to stop by the emergency preparedness booth right over here. If you don't have a 3-day emergency supply kit, I trust you've placed your order for yourself and your family. Many of you might have lived through the Northridge earthquake in 1994, or even the Sylmar earthquake way back in 1971. You all know the importance of being prepared. The orders, there's many people in our community that don't have the resources or the knowledge of advanced planning of being prepared. There's seniors, there's families with small children, young adults, really people from all walks of life that don't have that necessary 3-day emergency supply kit. For over 70 years, the Agua Dulce Women's Club has been the community collection point for disasters. And now, we're taking it a step further. We're stockpiling 3-day emergency survival kits for community distribution in the case of a local disaster. So when disaster strikes, we're prepared and we're ready to help our friends and neighbors. Drinking water, food, flashlight, light sticks, radio, first aid supplies will be a ray of hope for those who have nothing. So here's how we're going to make this happen. A $35 tax-deductible donation, just $35, will provide a 1-person kit. A $55 donation will provide for a 2-person kit. And a $100 donation will provide a 4-person, 3-day emergency survival kit. On your table, your hostesses were given orange Fund-A-Need forms. They're check with your hostess, have her pull those out, pass them around. Take a look at those and consider what you can donate. Maybe you've lived through disasters and realize the importance of being prepared. Maybe you have some specific people in mind that those community distribution kits will benefit. Maybe you're just learning about this for the first time today, but can clearly see that this type of donation will make our community the strong, resilient community that we are known for. Whatever your reason, we appreciate your willingness to donate. And to show you our appreciation, everyone who donates to our Fund-A-Need will receive a free light stick. We want our community to be prepared, not scared. My mom used to say, sometimes we enjoy something on someone else's dime, meaning that someone else paid for your entry today to the experience. You might have been invited by a sponsor, or your hostess may have invited you. You've had a chance to hear about the good the Agua Dulce Women's Club does for the community, and you've been with your friends, met some new ones, heard some inspiring stories. I can think of no better way than to thank your hostess or sponsor than by giving a gift to a cause they clearly believe in or they wouldn't have come. This is a great way to say thanks to them and demonstrates your support of the continuing programs and activities of the Agua Dulce Women's Club. I know we've got a generous group that we have here today, and I want you to know that kind of difference you are making. So myself, Letitia, Brigitte, and Stephanie are going to help you complete those forms. Then we'll gather those orange forms and we'll tally up the number of kits that we're able to donate today, and we'll share that final number with you. Just before you leave, stop by the emergency preparedness area to finalize your payment. We'll take cash, checks, credit cards, and that's where you'll claim your complimentary light stick. So, Letitia, Brigitte, Stephanie, and I, we're going to be wandering the room, helping you fill out those forms. And I know I'm going to come back and talk about that we can at least donate at least 100 emergency kits. That's my goal, is 100 emergency kits. So let's see if we can make that goal. So, back to our MC, Don Henry, and he'll talk about some raffle items. These are the orange forms. I'm going to be walking around and helping you fill those out.
Thank you, Mary. We appreciate your efforts. What a fantastic group of people here today. I'm so moved at the generosity that you have shown here. It's a great day here in Agua Dulce. We're happy to have our local schools represented here today. Can any of our school officials that are here stand? Any board members, teachers, facilitators, administrators, support staff? Please stand up. Please stand up so we can recognize you. There we go. Oh, they're all around us. So let's give a big round of applause. Now we have some special presentations for a couple of our donors. Could I have the representatives from Waste Management and Julie White come to the stage?
Waste Management is just so proud to support an amazing group and an amazing, tight-knit, resilient community like yourself. And we're excited to see the fruits of this check. And wow! Yeah, just can't wait to see what happens. Thank you.
Little ornament things. I'm not taking them.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Just the right side. After I made 10 of them, I said, this side.
Now we have Liz Zillman from Southern California Edison's here with us today. This has taken a lot of heat from this community. Today we welcome her and want to extend our thanks for supplying a generator to the Acton Agua Dulce Women's Club during the last couple of power outages. Let's give her a warm, friendly welcome.
Good afternoon. As mentioned introduction, my name is Liz Seelman. I am Public Affairs for Southern California Edison. This is the second time I've had the pleasure of coming to Parade of Tables. This year I get to present a check on behalf of Edison. We look forward to continuing our partnership, to growing our partnership in the years ahead, and to always doing continuous improvement as a company and working with the community. So thank you all for having us again this year.
It's in there somewhere. Public affairs direction.
Let's give Liz a big round of applause for showing up here today. She's really trying to help out. She's supposed to do. I look forward to working with her in the future. Just a quick reminder, the raffles will be closing in just a few minutes. I have one after 1 o'clock. I think we need to extend that. What do we want to do? We'll go to 1:30. Go to 1:30. The raffles will be closing in just a few minutes at 1:30. So there's a little time for you to pick up a few more tickets and disperse them. And the silent auction, quilt, and shopping spree raffles end at 1:40.